Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Limbus Company video. Got a bit of a short video here for you today. Beating up Ricardo with his own identity, as you do, normally. Love mirror matches, they're always so super fun in my opinion. But unfortunately, to actually do a proper mirror match against Ricardo, you'd have to do it on the Kanto 5 stage. And unfortunately, I kind of made that impossible because I leveled up Heathcliff a bit too much before thinking about that, so couldn't do it. Oh well. And here we are, fighting his second fight in the new Intervallo. Honestly, I did want to just solo this fight, like I always at least try to solo any encounter I do, but unfortunately, not Ricardo himself, but Zelu is just... she's really bad into Heathcliff here. Specifically because he is fatal to slash damage. And also Zelu just has really good rupture application by being, you know, a Mauheisho. And it's like those two things in combination of one another basically made it impossible for Heathcliff to actually survive longer than 3 turns. Like, I could consistently survive the first turn without getting staggered, and that allows me to use the Durante Ira status effect on him on the second turn, thus allowing me to bypass the stagger and also survive and heal back a little bit as well, but not... it doesn't heal back enough to allow you to survive the third turn, since... like I said, lots of slash damage coming from Zelu, and also you have a very sizable rupture stack at that point. Plus the fact that Zelu has unbreakable coins that apply a lot of rupture count. And that alone is pretty much the biggest killer of it all, because yeah, you can't stop that attack from going through, and it both triggers the rupture and builds it up even further, thus making it so that if you get hit by it, while you currently have a decently high rupture stack, it's almost a certainty that you're going to die. Is it possible to beat Zelu solo with Ricardo Heathcliff? Maybe. If you use AEDD, his pretty much only healing ego, then it might be possible, but it would be very close even with that. Regardless, I did end up deciding to just use Sinclair along with Heathcliff for a more canon matchup, I would say. Zelu is still the actual hardest part of this entire specific encounter, though, even with Sinclair's additional help. Perhaps the best part about this new identity is the fact that he gives all other middle identities the effects of the Book of Vengeance ego gift from the Mirror Dungeon. Which means that as long as they are using a counter skill, they take reduced damage from unopposed attacks, and they cannot be staggered. Which is, that is a ridiculously powerful effect for a single identity to have, because he's effectively just giving anti-stagger to like pretty much an entire team. If you're using all middle identities, he can give anti-stagger to literally everyone on the team, which is an insanely powerful effect. And you know, it does make sense for him to actually have these effects, considering the fact that the Book of Vengeance ego gift from the Mirror Dungeon is actually supposed to be Ricardo's Book of Vengeance specifically. So it makes sense that the Ricardo identity would be able to give the effects of his own ego gift, much like how a lot of the other egos for other ego gifts have their effects, such as with the new Rhodia ego that came alongside him. That has the effect of the Eclipse of Scarlet Moths. And Ricardo has the effects of the Book of Vengeance. It just makes sense to give the identities the effects of their own ego gifts. And also, perhaps one of the most interesting changes that this identity has. Well, it's not really a change, it's just... I wouldn't really call it an effect either, but it's the fact that when he actually gets the opportunity to use his enhanced skill 3, he changes the battle music, which it's really funny that he's the only identity that has this effect, especially when you consider the possibility that a lot of other identities could have actually done something like this, as there are a lot of characters in the game that have a unique music track, and yet their identity themselves don't do it. Like, for example, you could have Thumb Merceau play Lei Heng's music track if you really wanted to, when he gets access to his Savage Tiger Slayer's Perfected Flurry of Blades, specifically when he's using it with the last bit of ammo he has. That would be an interesting effect to give to Lei Heng Merceau, but I suppose it is pretty fitting that the middle is the first faction to have the ability to change the actual background music of a fight. I mean, in canon, they literally just like bring in their own music anyways, so it just makes sense. Ricardo Heathcliff is just bringing in his own boombox and playing his music when he gets the ability to use that attack. In any case, this is by far my favorite team in the entire game, the Envy Resonance team. So it's very nice to have a powerful identity that actually makes it very consistent now. Like, literally, just the anti-stagger alone is enough reason to use him. If he was just like a normal identity who did literally nothing special at all except give everybody that anti-stagger, he'd still be worth running.
마침내 돌아왔구나. 나의 스페셜 헤어 쿠폰. 혼자서 그 절묘함을 구현해보려 해도 도무지 완벽해지질 않았지. 이제야 발 뻗고 잘 수 있겠어. 얘들아, 철수다. 오늘은 이 형님이 쏜다.
Anyway, that's about all I have to show for you today. So, like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.